So friends, our today's topic is alkylating agent, which is a type of anti-cancer agents. So basically, alkylating agents are the class of the drug that are capable to form a covalent bond with important biomolecules. Here, biomolecules that means it may be DNA. So the major target for drug actions are nucleophilic group present on the DNA. Okay, so especially N7 position of the guanine where nitrogen is present and nitrogen having a lone pair of electron that is act as a nucleophile and that is directly attack on alkylating agents, and however these protein and RNA among other may be also alkylated. So apart from DNA, some proteins and RNA also may be alkylated. So there are several potential nucleophile sites present on DNA which are susceptible to the electrophilic attack by alkylating agents. So such sites are N2 of the DNA guanine, N3 of the guanine as well as the N7 of the guanine base. Apart from guanine, N1, N3 and N7 of the adenine, O6 of the thymine as well as the N3 of the cytosines. So these all are the potential nucleophilic site which can easily attack on the alkylating agents, and the potential mechanism of cell death that include the activation of the apoptosis, that means programmable cell death, that is caused by the P53. It is a kind of gene which activate, and activation of the P53 gene that may cause the activations of the apoptosis and disruptions of the template function of the DNA. Ultimately, DNA synthesis can be reduced. Okay, so the most important of these many alkylating agents are N7 positions of the guanine, which is most important, and in majority of the cases N7 position of the guanine which is attack on the alkylating agents and DNA synthesis can be reduced. Now additionally, alkylation has been proposed to result in alter base pairing. Okay, alter base pairing means for the synthesis GC as well as the AT pairing should be required. Okay, so because of alteration in base pairing, so it is only due to the alteration in the tautomerizations, and this alkylation also leads to increase the acidity of the N1 nitrogen and reducing the pK value from 9 to 7, that gives rise to a zwitterionic form, and that may also main cause of the mispairing of the base, nucleotide base. And for those agent that possess two reactive functionality, one is the interstrand as well as the intrastrand cross linking that become a possible. So say for example this is a two different pair of the DNA. So interstrand that means between these two strand, and intrastrand that means within strand. Okay, so there may be linkages, or there may be linkages like AG, GG, AT. So this AT pair that is called interstrand linkages, and this AC that is called intrastrand linkages. So such kind of linkages are possible, and when interstrand links occurs, then separation of the two strand during the replication is prevented, and therefore replication is blocked. This is how DNA replication can be blocked. Now come to the main mechanism how alkylating agents are act. So in alkylating agents, so first let us discuss about the nitrogen mustard derivative. So this is a common structure in nitrogen mustard derivative where this nitrogen is a tertiary amines and it having a lone pair of the electron, and which is attached with the 2-chloroethyl side chain. Now this lone pair attack on this carbon which is directly attached with the chlorine. Okay, so why it attack on these carbon? Because of it is attached with the chlorine. So due to electronegativity, it having a somewhat positive charge, and it is converted into the ethylene, iminium or aziridinium cation formations. And once this aziridinium cation is formed, this is a guanine base, and N7 of the guanine which having a lone pair of the electron which is attack at this carbon, and this ring cleavage is taking place. Okay, so after cleavage of the ring, this all alkylating group is attached at the N7 of the guanine. So and this reaction is called SN2 kind of the reactions. Okay, so that means N7 of the guanine is particularly susceptible to the formation of the covalent bond with the alkylating agents. So this is how one of the base of DNA like N7 of the guanine that is alkylated by the alkylating agents and block the DNA synthesis. Now, if you look at the classification, so alkylating agent basically divided into the five major class. First is a nitrogen mustard derivatives. So this is a first drug. It is called meclorethamine. So if we look at the IUPAC nomenclature, so B's that means two. 2-chloroethyl means these two chloroethyl side chains, and this is called methyl amines. Okay, so this is IUPAC nomenclature of the meclorethamine. It is effective in Hodgkin's disease, and adverse effects associated with meclorethamines are bone marrow depressions and hair loss, or we can say alopecia. And it is an important candidate for MOPP regimens. Okay, so MOPP regimens where four drugs are used: meclorethamines, and then oncovin, where oncovin is a brand name. Vincrestin is a drug which is used in oncovin, procarbazine and prednisones. Okay, and the use of these meclorethamine, it is in Hodgkin disease as well as the lymphomas. So this MOPP regimen, it is a very important questions for the many competitive examinations. Now nitrogen mustard, what is nitrogen mustard? So it is a kind of the gas which is called mustard war gas of World War One, and which is highly reactive vesicants, and it is the first chemical used in cancer treatment. There is a no cell cycle specific effect but still active in dividing the tissues. It is also act as a radiomimetic, that having a similar actions, or we can say DNA resembles radiations. Okay, and nucleophile are used like sulfitral group of the proteins, nitrogen of the protein as well as the DNA base, as well as the carbonyl carbon or C double bond O, where oxygen of the DNA base. So these three are the nucleophiles are generally used in nitrogen mustard derivatives. Now how these nitrogen mustard derivatives are act? So at physiological pH, aliphatic mustard hydrochloride converted into the aziridinium ion. So as we discussed, the uh, this is called mustard hydrochloride. So this is converted into the aziridinium ion, and that react with the nucleophile. So here nucleophile, that means N7 of the guanine, and these agent act by the alkylation of the N7 of the guanine in DNA, and which lead to alteration in the guanine. So if alteration is in guanine is taking place, then abnormality or abnormal base pair with cytosine. So guanine is altered, so it is not pair with the cytosine. Okay, and leads to miscoding. Second probable mechanism is cleavage of the imidazole ring of the guanine. So there may be chances of cleavage of the imidazole ring that is present in the guanine. Third is a produce or causes the cross linking of the DNA strand, and that leads to inhibition of the replication, DNA replication further block if it's produced, as well as the causes of the cross linking of the DNA strand, and depurination of the DNA cause the actual breakage of the DNA strands. Okay, so these four are the probable mechanism where alkylating agents are act. Next drug is cyclophosphamide. It is considered as a latent drugs. Okay, latent drugs means after drug when we are ingested, so after metabolism it is converted into its active form. So it is called latent drug. This is a structures of the cyclophosphamide. So basically it having a cyclohexane ring contain three heteroatoms: nitrogen, phosphorus, and oxygens, and the main ring which is called oxazophosphine ring. Okay, oxazophosphine, it is a main ring that is present in the cyclophosphamide. So in sometimes many competitive exams such kind of questions are asked: which basic nucleus or which basic moiety is present in the cyclophosphamide, and its IUPAC is NNBs. That means it is a this part 2-chloroethyl, 2-oxo, that means this is a 2-oxo groups, 132 oxazophosphine and 2 amines. Okay, so this is IUPAC nomenclature. Again I am repeating: NN, Bs, 2-chloroethyl, that means these group, 2-oxo, that means these group, then oxa aza phosphenan. Okay, so this is called oxa aza phosphenan, 2 amines. At second position there is a amino groups. Now this metabolite of cyclophosphamide is very important. So basic metabolites are phosphoramide, mustard and acrolein. So phosphoramide mustard, it is an active metabolite of the cyclophosphamide and which are having a anti-tumor activity, and acrolein is a toxic metabolite of cyclophosphamide and which is toxic to urinary bladder. So in many competitive examinations such kind of questions were asked in previous paper. So you have to remember phosphoramide mustard, which is an active metabolite of the cyclophosphamide, and acrolein, that is a toxic metabolite of cyclophosphamide and which is toxic to urinary bladder. And this acrolein toxicity is decreased by IV as well as the oral administration of the sodium salt of the 2-mercaptoethane sulfonic acid. In short, it is called MASNA. So MASNA is a treatment to reduce the acrolein toxicity. Okay, and the adverse effect of cyclophosphamide, it is the same like previous one, meclorethamine, alopecia as well as the leukopenia. Now how this cyclophosphamide is act? So this is a drug and which is metabolized by various metabolic enzymes. So which is further hydroxylated and then alcohol dehydrogenation is by using this enzyme, this hydroxy group is oxidized to keto, and another way after that there is a cleavage of this bond is taking place, so it is converted into these intermediates, and from these intermediate two metabolites are separate out. One is a phosphoramide mustard, which is a structures of phosphoramide mustard. Another is a acrolein, which is toxic metabolite and it is a toxic to urinary bladders, and this is how then it is converted into the aziridinium ion, and this aziridinium ion which is react with N7 of the guanine and further alkylation is taking place. So this is how metabolic and chemical activation of the cyclophosphamide. Next is a I-phosphamide. It is nothing but 2-chloroethyl substitution on the ring nitrogen atom in the structure of the cyclophosphamide. Okay, so in structure of cyclophosphamide here two ethyl chloride group are there. So one of the group that is transfer from this nitrogen to this nitrogen. So this gives the structure of the I-phosphamides. Now IUPAC nomenclature is N3. So N for these, 3 for this 3 number of the groups, 2-chloroethyl, 132 oxaza phosphenan, 2-amide, 2 oxides. Okay, so this is IUPAC nomenclature. Another drug in this category is melphalan. Melphalan, it is called phenylalanine analog of the alkylating agents. Okay, so in exam questions like which of the following is a phenylalanine analog of alkylating agents, so the example is melphalan. So if you look at the structure, this is the structure of the phenylalanine and NH2 group that is replaced by the 2 ethyl chloride side chains, and IUPAC nomenclature if we look, so 4 position, that means this is a 4th position. Now bis chloroethyl amino, that means this whole group, and this is called phenylalanine. So this is about phenylalanine. Next is chlorombucyls. It is called butanoic acid derivative. So if you look at the structures, so phenyl ring attached with the 4 carbon chain which is called butane and which is attached with the carboxylic acid which is called butanoic acids. So same way 4 bis 2 chloroethyl amino, so that means whole this moiety 4, that means this is a 4th position. Then bis means 2 ethyl chloride groups are there, so 2 chloroethyl, then amino, that means this amino group, then this is a benzene ring and this is called butanoic acid. So this is how you can give a nomenclature, IUPAC nomenclature to chlorombucyls. And adverse effect associated with chlorombucyls is dose related and rapidly reversible neutropenia. It is the main adverse effect of the chlorombucyls. Now next is a nitrosourea derivative which is also called N-alkyl N-nitrosourea. So basically this kind of compound are unstable in aqueous solutions and generally they are producing the two intermediate, one is a isocyanate, another is a diazo hydroxide upon decompositions. So this is a nitrosourea after decomposition it is converted into the isocyanate and diazo hydroxides, and this generated isocyanate that carbamylate the protein as well as the RNA, and generated diazo hydroxide that yield a diazo species that again decompose to reactive carbocation, and this carbocationic carbon which is attacked by the N7 of the DNA, and by this way alkylation is occurred. So this is how nitrosourea derivatives are act. So this is a nitrosourea. So if you look at the structure of the urea, it is NHCONH. Okay, and this is called nitroso group. So nitroso group which is attached with the one of the terminal nitrogen of the urea, this is called nitrosourea. Okay, so this nitrosourea group is protonated. So what happened, sorry, deprotonated. So from here proton is lost and this electron that is shifted at here, and this cleavage of these bond is occurred, and after cleavage it is converted into the diazo hydroxide. So this is called diazo hydroxide, and this is called isocyanate intermediate, and these isocyanates are believed to be carbamylate with the protein as well as the RNA, and this diazo hydroxide which is further converted into the carbocation by loss of the nitrogen group, and this carbocationic carbon again by using this N7 of the guanine of the DNA which is act as a nucleophile attack on this carbonyl carbon, and by this way this biomolecule DNA is alkylated and ultimately block the DNA synthesis. Now various drugs are comes under nitrosourea derivatives are carmustine, lomustine, samustine and chlorozotocins and streptozotocins. So this is a structure of the chlorozotocin and streptozotocins. So only there is a change at these positions where terminal nitrogen of the nitrosourea. So if R equal to CH3 group methyl group, then it's a streptozotocins. R is equal to CH2 CH2Cl, that means ethyl chloride, then it is a structure of the chlorozotocins, and it is a broad spectrum antibiotic containing the nitrosourea. Okay, so in exam questions like which of the following is a broad spectrum antibiotic containing nitrosourea groups, so these all are the broad spectrum antibiotic. So where there are two suffix that you have to remember, stine and tosins. Okay, whenever these two suffix are there which are called nitrosourea derivative. Mechanism that we already discussed. So at physiological pH it is converted into the chemically reactive species like isocyanate, and that may cause the carbamylations of amino acid as well as the protein and resulting into the inhibition of the DNA repair. So this is a probable mechanism. Now, if you look at the structure of the carmustine as well as the lomustines, so in structure of the carmustine, 1 and 3 positions. So this is called 1 and 3 positions. Base means 2, chloroethyl, that means this side chain. Okay, so 1 and 3 position, 2 chloroethyl side chains are there. 1 position nitroso group is there. So this is a 1 nitrosourea. This is called carmustines. Okay, and it is also called BCNU. In some book it is written like BCNU. Now what is this BCNU? So B stand for bees, C for chloro, N for nitrile and U for urea. So BCNU is coding for the carmustine, and this is same like lomustine, only there is a change at this position in structure of the carmustine. Instead of the chloroethyl group, cyclohexyl ring is there. So it is called CCNU, that means chloro cyclo nitrosourea, CCNU, that means lomustines. And due to higher lipophilicity, higher penetration into the BBB, it can be used in cerebral tumors. It is also used in Hodgkin's disease as well as the lymphomas, and use of lomustines are the primary and metastatic brain tumors as well as the secondary therapy in Hodgkin's disease. Next is the aziridine derivatives. So for examples are ethylene diamine like thiotepa, hexamethyl melamines like ultratamines. So this is a structure of the thiotepa where 3 aziridine rings are attached with the P double bond S. Okay, and this is aziridinium cation of the thiotepa which is act as a electrophile, and N7 of the DNA which is act as a nucleophiles. Okay, so thiotepa, benzatepa, and ultratamines are the drugs under these categories. Though ultratamines, it having a triazine ring. Okay, it doesn't having a aziridine ring, but it having a similar mechanism of action. That's why it is fall under these group. So what kind of precautions are required when patients are treated with the aziridine derivatives? So thiotepa is a very toxic to bone marrow. So blood count is necessary during the therapy. Mechanism means at physiological pH, aliphatic nitrogen must are readily converted into the aziridinium cation, same like this, and ring opening takes place and reactive intermediate is formed. So after that, N7 of the guanine, which is attack at here, and this electrons that is shifted at here, and this is how ring opening is takes place. Now this is the structures of the thiotepa. So when under water conditions and with water, it is react to form a hydroxide, and this ring aziridine ring is separate out, and once it is protonated converted into the aziridine cations, and then after N7 of the DNA which is attack at this carbon, and this is how it is alkylated. This is one of the probable mechanism. Second mechanism is directly N7 of the DNA attack on this aziridinium ring, and then it is alkylated. Third, that means thiotepa that is converted into the tepa by using this cytochrome enzymes. So P double bond S that is converted into the P double bond O, and further it is hydroxylated, and this ring is separate out, and after that it is protonated to form a positive charge on nitrogen, and then it is alkylated by N7 of the guanine. This is how metabolic and chemical interactions of the thiotepa with the DNA. Now next is alkyl sulfonate derivative. So drug is the busulfan. So IUPAC nomenclature is butane 1,4-diol dimethane sulfonates. Okay, so here 4 carbon chain, it is called butane. At 1 and 4th number of the carbon 1,4-diol, this is called dimethane sulfonate. SO3 is called sulfonate. Okay, so busulfan utilize 2 sulfonate functionality as a leaving group separated by the 4 carbon chain, as I said, that react with the DNA to primary form a intra-strand cross link as 5GA 3' sequences, and sulfur stripping is a effect that is observed with alkyl sulfonate derivative, in which what happen, interaction with the thiol containing compounds such as glutathione and cysteine residue result in the loss of the two equivalent methane sulfonic acid. Okay, so due to sulfur stripping, interaction of the SH group containing amino acid like the glutathione and cysteine residue, and due to that there is a loss of the methane sulfonate acids, and this is available in ionic form, and that causes the cleavage of the DNA strands. Okay, this is how alkyl sulfonate derivatives are act, and the main use is chronic granulocytic leukemia as well as the bone marrow transplant. Last is a triazine derivative. So why it is called triazine? Because of in structure 3 nitrogens are present. So first drug is procarbazine. So if you look at the structure of the procarbazine, so this is N positions, N nitrogens where isopropyl group is there. So N isopropyl. This is a fourth positions. 1 and 2 position there is a methyl, this is a second and 1 positions. So 2 methyl hydrazino, this is called hydrazino. This is again methyl group, so methyl, and whole is called benzamide. Okay, this is how you can give IUPAC of the procarbazine. It is an anti-neoplastic agent, and originally it was developed for the MAO inhibitors, but after screening it was proved as a very good anti-neoplastic activity, and it is used in Hodgkin's disease, that means blood cancers. Another agent is dacarbazine. So at fifth positions 3,3-dimethyls. So this is a fifth number of positions, and this is a third number of the nitrogens where dimethyl groups are there. One position there is a triazinyls. This is triazinyls, one triazinyls. Then imidazole, this ring is called imidazole, and on fourth position carboxamide group is there. Again I am repeating, this is a fifth position, this is a fourth positions. 3,3, that means this nitrogen dimethyl, one triazinyls, triazenyls, that means three nitrogens with double bonds, so which is called triazenyls. The basic ring, that is the imidazole, and 4-carboxamide. So again, these dacarbazine, it thought to act as an inhibitor of the purine biosynthesis, but later it was shown to be an alkylating agent, and activation of this agent occur through the action of the cytochromes isoenzyme like 1A1, 1A2, and 2E1 to give a demethylated product of the monomethyl triazinoimidazole carboxamide. Okay, so from where demethylation is occurred, that means one of the methyl group is removed. Okay, so this is all about the alkylating agent as well as the medicinal chemistry of alkylating agent, which is very important. Thank you.